amazing. But also, what could have been? This camera hardware is not very good, but even then the results are incredible thanks to probably the world's most powerful camera software ever. But imagine how good it could have been had we actually had a good sensor too. See, for example, when you're using this at night, you can tell from the image preview that this camera is struggling. There's noise and grain everywhere. It's only after you've taken the photo that the software pieces it together. But if the phone can turn this graininess into this photo, imagine how good these shots would look if we had a current gen 48 or 64 megapixel sensor. The color rendering is absolutely brilliant. Every cloud is perfectly exposed and every brick naturally represented in color. But because of its low resolution, other phones are just going to get more detail in there. And of course, there's also the fact that being just a single camera, it lacks an ultra-wide lens, which kind of stings, especially since Google have literally built the camera housing as if they specifically made space for other cameras and then decided, never mind. Tease of the decade. Anyway, I'm dreaming here a little bit. The point is, the main takeaway, Pixel 4a camera is amazing. But I was kind of expecting it to be. It's actually the rest of the phone that's really surprised me. Oh, if you're enjoying the video, by the way, a sub to the channel would be phenomenal. For starters, just like the Pixel 3a before it, this is very much a slab of plastic, but the execution feels more deliberate. I came into this expecting to tell you that this lacks the density and the solidity of its glass counterparts, but honestly, I like it just as much. It's not one of those plastic phones that tries to do as much as it can to look like glass and doesn't quite get there. The result is a phone that is sturdy, that is ultra-resistant to fingerprints, even more so than last gen, and one that still has a nice bit of weight to it. I've not used a phone with a rear fingerprint scanner for a while, but after a bit of relearning it works fine. The most relieving part of this redesign, though, is that Google has finally fixed their bezel problem. The Pixel 1 had massive bezels, Pixel 2 weird curved corners, Pixel 3 XL this ridiculous bathtub notch, and then the Pixel 4 went right back to thicker bezels. I would go as far as to say that this is the first Google phone that actually, from the front, looks good versus its competition. It's giving me an iPhone 11 vibe, but instead with a full HD Plus OLED display, and a hole-punch camera that kind of floats away into my peripheral vision. And there's a whole load of straight-up upgrades from last gen. Because of this revamped design, they've managed to fit a bigger display into a far smaller body. Look at this thing, I love the size. The stereo speakers now have a little bass. There's 128 gigs of storage versus 64. And the battery life is better here, thanks to a larger capacity and a chip that consumes less power. Plus, this isn't an upgrade, but I'm glad Google have kept the headphone jack. If you're looking at this phone, you're probably on a tighter budget. And if you're on a tighter budget, you probably don't want to shell out extra cash for expensive wireless earphones. And it's something that's almost unheard of, but that I kind of appreciate, is how Google has kept this lineup really simple. Unlike last year, where there were multiple colors and sizes, the Pixel 4a is one phone with one color and one storage option. As far as creating something that's simple and that can potentially have mass appeal, that's the way to go. And that just leaves me with the software experience. You might know a couple months ago I actually shifted over from Android to iPhone, and in part that was because I was kind of getting annoyed with Samsung's software skin, but this has been a reminder of the things I really like about Android. The Pixel combines top-level haptics with satisfying sound effects and a visually inviting user interface. There's no bloatware or ads or apps you don't want being forced down your throat, and there's some really intelligent features baked in. It's using the new revamped Google Assistant, which is faster than before and better able to understand the context of your questions. They did get rid of those squeezable side edges to activate it, but I never really used them. It has Now Playing, which is like Shazam, but all the time without you needing to ask it. And live caption. Think YouTube's auto-generated annotations, but for everything you do. The phone can translate any video you watch on any platform. It even works on calls. I could call you up, have a conversation with you, and see the written transcript of our conversation in real time. And it works offline, because it's done using the on-device AI. And probably the cherry on top to this whole software experience is that Google is offering 3 years of OS updates. That compares to 2 on a really good mid-ranger, and 1 for quite a lot of them. So you are getting guaranteed Android updates up until Android 13. The two things that are notably a little lacking are its standard 60Hz screen refresh rate compared to 90 on the OnePlus Nord, meaning that flicking through the UI doesn't have that same snappy, instantaneous feel, and the fact that it's powered powered by the Snapdragon 730G. Not a bad chipset, but the 765G in the Nord is about 20% faster, and the A13 Bionic chip in the iPhone is about 100% faster. I'm guessing the reason they didn't just go for the 765G is because of this delay, because of the fact that the hardware was probably finalized quite a long time ago before phones were using that 765. But there is a flip side. See, I've got a sneaking suspicion that the Pixel 4a was built for a $399 price point. That's the price their last one came out. But to compensate for this delay, the fact that we now already have two brilliant options for this price, and the fact that Google can now probably produce this phone for cheaper because the parts in it are older, they've decided to undercut. The Pixel 4a is actually not going to be $399, but in fact $349. And that makes this very easy for me. Because all of a sudden the question isn't, is this the best $400 phone? Which would be a really complicated question, because it has so many strengths and weaknesses versus the Nord or the iPhone. The question instead becomes, can I get away with spending $50 less? And the answer to that question is, absolutely. The Pixel 4a is very comparable to the best $400 phones out there, and the fact that it's $50 cheaper just means that if you're considering it, I can say very confidently, go for it. Plus, if you...
Pak, sama sini yang समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा कैसे होता है इसमें कितने तुरंत कहाँ है यार कहाँ है यार
Level haptics, template glass and... template glass and...
Thank